Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So we are, back in the swing of things, I guess you could say, for The Flash for this season, which is, of course, always nice. But also, actually, well, this time around at least, it's a bit nerve-wracking considering what we have coming in, like 7 or 8 weeks' time? That, of course, being the big crossover event, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, we of course got the big setup for Barry for that Crisis event this season with the Monitor showing up in the Time Vault at the end of episode 1 and just being like, look, time's up, bucko. Well, time isn't up right now, bucko, but bucko, yep, your time's almost up. With the Monitor then telling Barry that December 10th of this year, so not that long away, like pretty much under 2 months now, will be the day that he leaves what he has right now, as in, well, die or vanish. Now, we will get to see the direct fallout of Barry getting this news in this week's episode, which will be tomorrow from when this video goes up, or maybe yesterday from when you watch this, I don't know, which will of course see Barry attempting to at least travel to the day following his foreseen death by the Monitor, that day of course being, if you December 10th plus 1, December 11th, 2019. Now, whether he gets there is another question, as he could be intercepted by Jay Garrick and taken to the area in which we see a lot of in the trailer, where it's Jay, Barry, and also Joan Williams. And this is where Barry will then place Jay's helmet on, and there's some weird stuff going on, and he will just see a lot of different potential futures, and along with that, a lot of deaths. But I guess that's for us to wait and see tomorrow if Barry actually gets to the future, or, if we will just get to see all this stuff in Jay's helmet visions. I'd expect the latter, because I think it would have been expensive to do all the future stuff. So I'm expecting the visions, but I'll have to wait and see. But in this video, we are going to go over a bunch of promo-related stuff for episodes 3 and 4 of this season, as well as some other stuff that was spoken about by the new showrunner for this season, that of course being Eric Wallace, in regards to what is to come this season following episode 1, in particular with one character. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know all of your opinions in the comments section down below about what gets you excited from what's to come in these upcoming episodes, and just, general thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support and excitement and just general hype. But the first thing to go over comes from episode 3, or Trey, is that Spanish, I think? Let's move on. Which is otherwise entitled Dead Man Running. And there could be much more to that title, but I think it's best to just look at it, in relation to Barry and his destiny, and that's now been revealed, so yeah. But they did release a description or synopsis for this episode about a week or so ago, and also released some promo images for the episode as well, which was only a couple of days back, I think, that reveal a few interesting things that we will go over. But yeah, here is that synopsis. Knowing that Crisis is only weeks away, Barry prepares a member of Team Flash for life without him while hunting a terrifying metahuman with an unquenchable thirst. Meanwhile, Ralph uncovers a family secret. So the first thing, in regards to that little bit where it says like Barry preparing a member of Team Flash for life without him, I'm going to assume that's Killer Frost or Caitlin, because we got like lots of hints of that in previous trailers where it showed Killer Frost like in basically Caitlin's. Actually, I guess not Caitlin's clothes, because Killer Frost is a bit more edgy, I guess you could say. So Killer Frost would wear different clothes than Caitlin, because Caitlin's, I guess, a bit more conservative. Is that probably the word you'd use? Or normal? I don't know. Whatever you want. I guess more mainstream. That's probably the best way to put it. Caitlin's a bit more mainstream. Killer Frost is, I don't know, a bit more edgier. So she wears different clothes. So we've seen that in like different trailers. And like with her like fighting a dummy with like her ice blade sort of things. And there is actually a lot of Barry and Killer Frost in regards to the promo images as well. So I'd expect this is going to be Barry training Killer Frost in some way, shape or form. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. They also say they're fighting a metahuman with an unquenchable thirst, might I say. Now, this could be Bloodwork, but we also did see in one of the trailers, it's like Barry is the Flash, and Killer Frost in her full-on Killer Frost suit walking through a hospital. So this could be like a vampire, or just someone that has to drink blood. Or something like that. It could be Bloodwork, but Bloodwork isn't like a vampire, so I'd expect this is just like a side villain for the episode, but works into everything. So yeah, I'd have to say that's my prediction based off what we've seen in previous promo stuff. In regards to Ralph's family secret, I really don't know what it could be. It could be something maybe relating to the Sue Dearborn case, but But I don't know, it could just be something really minor, like maybe something more personal to Ralph that maybe just sticks with him for a bit, or it's just like a bit of character growth in this episode, rather than being like super plot effective. Like it's not like, oh, he finds out Bloodwork is his lost uncle, which wouldn't make sense because they're pretty much the same age. But you know, some weird revelation like that. I don't think it's going to be anything along those lines. Just could be something for a bit of character growth, but have to wait and see, I guess. Now, the promo images, as I said, did show like Barry and Killer Frost hanging out, but it also shows them with Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork. Now, from memory, this episode like fully kicks off the Bloodworker arc that like episode 1 set up. Like tomorrow episode, I think might have some Bloodwork, but it's really about Barry and some Crisis stuff. That's like really the main focus. But I think I remember them saying like episodes 3 to 6 was a lot of Bloodwork progression, then like 7 and 8 is like the big finale. So this episode should like really, you know, kick off what's going on. So it seems like in this episode he might just get worse and worse in regards to the morality. And the next episode, episode 4, which we will jump into in a second, is basically where stuff hits the fan. The blood hits the fan, as we should say, or as we could say. Now, the promo images also show like a party going on. It is a birthday party. You can see like happy birthday like banners or decorations, whatever you want to call them, hanging up. Now, based off promo images, I would say it's maybe Cisco's birthday. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd say it's Cisco's birthday. I think it's in Star Labs. It's hard to tell because there's so much crap going on. Like the lights are all different and stuff. It could be Star Labs or just could be like a similar location. I don't know. It doesn't really look like a club, to be completely honest. Interesting that they're letting all these people into Star Labs if that is the case. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure whose party it is. If you know, let me know in the comments because I'm somewhat interested, I guess. But also don't really care too much. But if you want to let me know, I guess. But next up, we do move on to episode 4 of this season, which will be the Halloween episode for this season and air on TV. I think it's 2 days before Halloween. I think it airs on the 29th, so it's very fitting that it airs then. It is the Halloween episode, and also that it has a very Halloween-fitting title, that title actually being There Will Be Blood. And I'm sure most of you will be able to tell who will most likely get a lot of focus in this episode, pretty much because I alluded to that only a minute ago or something. But yeah, here's the synopsis for that episode. Barry's efforts to prepare Cisco for Crisis are derailed when Cisco schemes to save Barry's life instead. Meanwhile, Ramsey Rosso uses his deadly new abilities to save his own life while sacrificing his humanity in the process. So first off, what specific thing around Crisis is Cisco being prepared for? Obviously, he doesn't have his powers anymore, so it's not Barry teaching him, I guess, how to use his powers more effective if Barry wasn't there. You know, is he maybe just getting Cisco prepared for life without Barry, similar to what he was doing with Caitlin, I guess, in that episode? It seems like there will be, you know, a handful of episodes this season dedicated to Barry, probably spending a lot of time with one singular character before Crisis rolls around. Obviously, Caitlin the previous episode, Cisco this episode, and I think it's episode 6. He's got a lot of time with Ralph as well. So, and I think episode 5 is just a Cisco episode, pretty much for the most part, very Cisco centric. So, but outside of Barry. So, I don't know. It could start maybe a new story arc for Cisco in regards to what happens here with Barry. But it is hard to tell. Like, it's very vague, and because Cisco doesn't have his powers anymore, it wouldn't be anything revolved around that, you wouldn't think, unless Barry convinces Cisco to maybe make tech that sort of makes sort of vibe things. They have that little thing that, you know, the thing that Supergirl has that opens the breaches. I guess Cisco could make tech, like gauntlets that do that, but I don't know. I have to wait and see. In regards to Cisco's scheme to save Barry, I don't really know what Cisco will attempt to do. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe it's just about like doing this, I guess, similar stuff to what happened with Iris, because obviously the whole thing was like they vibe to the future constantly to see what happens so they could work out different scenarios and stuff like that. So maybe Cisco's planning around doing something along those lines. Obviously, he doesn't have his powers, so he can't do that. But something along those lines that's sort of similar. Maybe using some sort of time travel tech if he wants to work that up or something along those lines, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's something like that. But if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Now, obviously, it does say Ramsey Rosso uses his new abilities. Now, it seems like this episode he'll fully cross over to being Bloodwork. So RIP Ramsey Rosso in this episode, I guess. It'd be interesting to see like if he kills someone of importance. We might meet someone in the next couple of episodes that maybe Ramsey makes an example of. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to just see how they do Bloodwork, because we've seen set photos, but there is a lot of CGI to come with the character because of just the nature of the character, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. And the last thing is actually to do with Eric Wallace. Now, he was doing an interview after episode 1. He was actually talking about the new character we met in episode 1, that being Chester P. Runk, and so the guy that sort of became or could make the black holes, like half of his brain was the black hole thing. Now he's said to come back in the back half of this season, most likely. He is in that like mental augmentation chamber, or the Mac, at the moment, so he'll probably be directed into Team Flash or as like an ally of Team Flash soon enough. But this is what Eric Wallace had to say about Chester following episode 1. Chester P. Runk was one of my favourite characters from the late 80s run of the Flash comics. I was a young African-American comic book reader, always looking for my own face in the comic books, and he was a character who, even though he was presented as villainous at first, eventually becomes not only an ally, but a friend of the Wally West iteration of the Flash. He has these really wild sci-fi powers that involve physics, but more importantly, he's a scientist. We set out to present that kind of positive image for POC, or people of color audience members, to see up on the screen. Not that we don't already have some, but let's add a new one. So I actually liked Chester P. Runk. I did like his vibe and stuff like that. Yeah, I just thought he was a fun character. I thought it was funny, just some of the stuff he said. So I wouldn't mind if he stuck around the show. I know the common complaint about, oh my god, there's too many Team Flash members already. That is an issue. But obviously we have Iris sort of being worked out, and she's doing her journalism stuff. And, you know, there was issues with Iris still being Team Flash last episode. People were complaining about that. I didn't really notice it too much, but there were people complaining about it. But if Iris does, you know, work her way out, which should happen, and going by what's being said, then I guess there is a hole for Chester P. Runk to fit into. And I guess if maybe Killer Frost is doing more, or Caitlin's like more Killer Frost this season than Caitlin, then there's more of like a scientific sort of role there that he can slide into. So yeah, I wouldn't mind him sticking around. Do you care about the character staying around? I liked him, but do you? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video. I'm interested to see what you have to say. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.